What is up, beautiful people? I have just created an AI bot that completely replaces the need for hiring someone to find buyers. Imagine waking up tomorrow and finding 3 new cash buyers already in your pipeline. Each one closed a deed yesterday, each one tagged with their buy box, each one teed up with a ready to send text. No VA, no list broker, no guesswork. In this video, I'm going to build the exact AI bot that does that for me from scratch. So by the end, you can flip the same switch in your market. Quick disclaimer before we start, this will get a little complicated, but I'm going to break it down as simply as possible, step by step with plain English analogies and copy me lines so you can build this with me in this video. Let's get it. This AI bot finds real cash buyers for me every single day and drops them straight into SimpleSend so my team can start two-way conversations by text and email automatically. I'm not building a static list that goes stale. I'm building a living system that wakes up daily, pulls fresh public records, uses AI to separate real estate investors from everyone else, validates the right phone numbers, and triggers respectful first touches in SimpleSend without anyone on my team lifting a finger. Before I touch anything technical, I want to make 2 ideas simple. When I say API, I want you to picture a vending machine for data on the internet. I put in a request with a special key and it hands me back clean information. When I say webhook, I want you to picture a smart inbox that has its own link. I send that inbox a little package of data, and the moment it arrives, it triggers an automation. That is all you need to know to follow along. Here is the mental model, so this stays easy. N8N is my conveyor belt that moves the data from one step to the next. OpenAI is my smart assistant that reads rows, labels, buyers, and writes short messages. Google Sheets is my clipboard where my team can see every record in plain English. SimpleSend is my front desk and follow-up team where the actual conversations happen. I am choosing these tools because they are visual, affordable, and reliable. I want to give you a good, better, best path so you can start at your comfort level and upgrade later without rebuilding. Good means I start with a one-time CSV file of recent transactions and I drop it into my buyer's raw sheet. The bot still cleans scores and messages for me. Better means I use the web route to pull yesterday's deed recordings automatically from a county website. Best means I use the API routes so discovery is fast, clean, and scalable across counties. You can begin at good today and move to best later. I start with the scheduler because consistency beats intensity. In N8N, I click new workflow, I add a schedule trigger. I set it for 6 o'clock in the morning local time. I click activate. I do this first because I want the bot to work before my team even wakes up. If you get stuck, run it once manually to confirm the time zone. Success here means the workflow runs on its own at the time I chose tomorrow morning. I am scheduling this because predictable systems beat last-minute hustle, and because my team should start the day with real motion in the pipeline. Now, I decide how the bot will discover buyers. I have 2 clean choices. The API route asks a trusted data service, show me yesterday's sales in these zip codes, and it hands me a neat list. I prefer this when I want reliable coverage across multiple counties. The web route visits the county website automatically, grabs yesterday's public list, and saves it so the bot can read it. I prefer this when a county publishes a clean table and I want to start fast without waiting on a data contract. If you get stuck at this part, use the good option and upload a CSV so we can keep building the rest of the system for now. Success here means I can see yesterday's sales appear in my buyer's raw sheet. Choosing one of these because the system only works if fresh, real transactions feed it every day. And if you don't want to go through the whole county website, you can get this data also just from having it go into PropStream or Batch Leads or some other scraper that already did that for you. Set up my simple data lake next so everything is visible and fixable by non-technical teammates. I open Google Sheets, I create 2 sheets, I name the first one Buyers Raw. That is where I will store whatever I just pulled. I name the second one Buyers Clean. That is where I will store AI graded records that are ready for outreach. In N8N, I connect to the Google Sheets node and test a single row append. If you get stuck on permissions, authenticate once with your Google account and test again. Success here means I can open buyer's raw, which is the Excel file, and see real rows from today. I'm using Sheets because it creates a human readable audit trail that anyone can open without special tools to make sure that you can check in and make sure it's working. Okay, now that we have the raw transactions for investor candidates, I keep the instructions clear for the AI. In N8N, I add the OpenAI node and I send it a batch from buyer's raw. I paste this exact system prompt so the output is structured and predictable. I say, "You are my dispositions analyst. From public transaction rows, decide if the buyer is likely an investor. Output strict JSON with buyer underscore name, entity type, as individual or LLC or corporation, investor probability from 0 to 100, signals as a short rationale, inferred buy box if you can infer zip clusters or price bands, and next step as enrich underscore LLC or enrich underscore person. Do not output pros." I do it this way because I want clean fields I can map with zero manual editing. If you get stuck, reduce the batch size to 10 rows and try again. Success here means each row now says investor, yes or no. With a confidence number, one short reason, I am using AI at this point because this is repetitive triage that the machine can do perfectly all day. And if you can't remember all of that, because I know I'm talking really fast, I'm going to include a PDF at the end of this video so that you're able to just copy and paste it. When the buyer looks like an LLC, I want the human behind it, so I'm talking to a decision maker. I add a simple enrichment step that looks up the company and pulls officer or manager names. If the name matches fuzzy, I include the state in the search. If it still does not match, I fall back to email only for the contact and keep moving. Success here means I see a human name attached to the LLC records in buyer's clean. I'm enriching here because Acme Holdings LLC does not reply to messages, but Jordan Smith does. Before I spend a penny on messaging, I clean phone numbers so I do not waste money or hurt deliverability. I had a phone lookup setup that tells me if a number is mobile, landline, or VoIP. I keep mobiles for text. I route landlines to email or call tasks. I avoid risky VoIP for first touch. If a record is missing a number, I skip it and keep the conveyor belt moving. Success here means every mobile number in buyer's clean has a green light. Every landline is tagged for email only. I'm doing phone hygiene here because texting landlines is a dead end and clean routes protect my sender reputation. Now, I rank buyers so my best conversations happen first. I calculate a simple score from 1 to 5 using 4 ingredients. I use recency of last purchase. I use frequency in the last 12 months. I consider whether they are an LLC or an individual. I look at the size of the last sale relative to my dispo range. Move anything 3 or higher to outreach, and I park the rest for later. The math feels heavy. I start with recency and frequency only, and I add the other pieces later. Success here means I can sort buyers clean by a score column and see my top targets at the top. I'm scoring now because time is finite and I want my reps focused on the most probable buyers immediately because you need to sell that deal. I let AI draft respectful first touch messages so my team sounds consistent and on brand. In the OpenAI node, I paste one more instruction that creates my opener. I say, given buyer name, market, zip cluster, last close date, deal count, and price band, output strict JSON only with persona, buy box, urgency score from 1 to 5, SMS first touch under 160 characters ending with exactly one question, email subject, email body under 120 words with one clear call to action and notes to CRM. No extra words. I do it this way because short, clear messages with a single question get the highest response, and the JSON format drops straight into my fields. The message feels too generic at first. I mention the county name or zip cluster inside the prompt to localize the tone. Success here means each approved buyer now has ready to send text and a short email that match my voice. I am drafting here because consistent on-brand openers remove friction for my team and increase reply rates. Okay, cool. We're done with N8N for the moment. It's now time to hand everything off to SimpleSend, so conversations start on their own. Inside SimpleSend, I create a workflow that begins with an inbound webhook trigger. That webhook is my smart inbox. In N8N, I paste that webhook link into an HTTP request node. For each approved buyer, I send a small package of fields, name, phone number, email, market, score, persona, inferred buy box, and the AI written for such messages. The moment SimpleSend receives that package, it creates or updates the contacts and rolls them into my buyer intake sequence. In plain English, I am sliding a fresh contact card across the front desk, and the front desk starts that conversation with a buyer. If you get stuck, send one test contact by hand and confirm it appears in your SimpleSend contacts before you turn the workflow on. Success here means a test contact appears in SimpleSend within a few seconds with all the fields mapped correctly. I'm using a webhook here because it is the simplest, most reliable way to push structured data into a live automation. Inside SimpleSend, I keep my first touch short and human because the goal is a reply, not a speech. My text says, hey, first name, I am moving off-market deals in market in San Francisco. Are you still buying around 90806 if the numbers pencil? 10 minutes later, my email says, if you're still active in the market, reply with a buy box and I will only send what fits. When someone replies yes or gives criteria, SimpleSend tags them as hot, assigns the thread to my distro rep, and continues a focused follow-up. When there is silence for 2 days, the sequence nudges once and then pauses for 30 days. Success here means replies land in SimpleSend automatically with clear tags and ownership. I am keeping it short because one question beats 3 paragraphs every single time. I also close the loop so the bot gets smarter every week. SimpleSend, I create a reply webhook that fires whenever a buyer texts or emails back. Point that webhook to a second N8N workflow. That workflow reads the reply, uses a tiny AI step to classify it as hot, criteria, stop, or wrong number, and then sends that tag back to SimpleSend. Over time, I A/B test 2 different openers in each market and let the bot converge on the one that pulls the most replies. AKA, I am training this bot for real time, making it better as we keep going. If you get stuck here, start with one opener and turn on testing later. Success here means reply tags update on contacts automatically without a human reading every message. I am closing the loop here because continuous learning compound results. We want the bot to learn and learn and become better and better and better. Let me give you the exact copy me line so your operator can follow this without pausing the video. For N8N, I say, I click new workflow, I add schedule, I set 6 a.m., I click activate, and I am done. For Google Sheets, I say I name the first tab buyers _raw and the second tab buyers _clean, so my team always knows where to look. For the OpenAI classification prompt, I say, I paste the analyst prompt and I say JSON only, so the output snaps into my fields with no editing. For SimpleSend, I say, I paste the webhook URL into N8N, I send one test contact, and I confirm it shows up in my SimpleSend contacts before I turn this on. These are all instructions so it knows what to do. I also want to be transparent about the cost so your operations lead can greenlight this. The automation brain is modest monthly plan, or you can self-host if you prefer to trade time for money, but this is going to cost you anywhere from $150 a month to $1,000 a month, depending on how crazy you're going to get. AI Step costs pennies because we keep the prompt and output short. Text messages in the United States are typically around a cent per segment, so even a few thousand first touches cost only tens of dollars. Phone lookups cost a tiny fraction of dollars each and usually save more than they cost. Your biggest variable is the discovery source you choose, aka whether you're buying from PropStream or batch leads, and also N8N, because you can only do so many actions to make all of this happen. So if you're like doing hundreds of thousands of buyers, it's gonna be hard, right? But if you're starting with one county on a web route, it's pretty inexpensive unless you prove the bot before you scale. Point is, everything here can scale predictably with volume, and you can decide how much you spend. If you guys want the exact N8N canvas export and copy and paste OpenAI prompts and my SimpleSend workflow template so you can do this yourself, comment the word prompt on there. I'm gonna make sure that there's like a link in the description that you're able to sign up for it with. If you think this is way too complicated, and I get it, it's pretty hard, and you want my team to set it up for you, we can absolutely do that. Comment the word AI and I'll reach out to you personally and we'll set up a call and see if like it makes sense. Either way, like, comment, and subscribe on this video, and I will see y'all on the next one. Peace.